Welcome back to Get Done's Business, the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. We are back with my next guest, and he is an author, entrepreneur, speaker, investment expert, and the founder and CEO of Stock Squirrel, a new fintech that democratizes stock ownership. That's John Feloni. John, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It's an honor and privilege. I know that you are very passionate that money should not be the focal point of folks' time and energy when it comes to business. It is all about relationships, and that's why you wrote this fantastic read, The Covenant Secret, an inspirational tale of about uncovering the 7 master keys of wisdom and wealth. And indeed, that's what we all want to do. So John, again, thanks for joining us. I always love to get to know the person behind the microphone. How did you become so passionate about business, but also relationships in business?
Well, my background is Wall Street for 40 years, and not only as a stockbroker, but in management. And I just saw that everything has to do with relationships. As a matter of fact, we always talk about, is business about money or is it about people? And most people will say it's about money, obviously, but that's not the case, because even the way we get to money is through people. So that was my passion throughout my career, is just working on the people aspect of business.
That's huge indeed. So again, that's why you wrote this great book, A Covenant Secret, inspirational tale about uncovering the 7 master keys of wisdom and wealth. So you certainly make the case in the book, which I've had the opportunity to read. Your business, no matter what it is, will be nothing without people. From stakeholders to clients and customers to partners, people are the bottom line. So my first question is, we're having this conversation with a lot of entrepreneurs, small business owners. Some people may say, hey, that might be true of large companies like Google and LinkedIn and all sorts of things like that. Yes, they need people. What about my small business? I just am really passionate about making socks and scarves. Why do I need people? What do you have to say to them?
Well, I mean, the bottom line is every constituency in your businesses regarding people, not only your team, your investors, et cetera, but customers. So no matter what you do, you have to build that relationship with your team, your customers, all of the different constituencies.
For sure. And I know you are fond of using that term, a covenant. So what is a covenant relationship, and how does it apply to business?
Yeah, a covenant is a very powerful word. It's biblical. It's beyond even fiduciary. And I saw that in business that the strongest relationship was the professional client relationship. And what that is being handled by clerks is not such a big deal. But when you deal with a covenant professional client relationship, that is a special beyond fiduciary, where every decision you make with that individual is in their best interest and not yours.
Interesting. Absolutely. So that is the covenant that we've been chatting about. And you mentioned in your book the business question of what's more important, people or money. I have a feeling I know where this is going, but what's your thoughts on that?
Well, again, I mean, the only way you can get money, whether it be from investors or whether it be from customers, is through people. So the basic, your relationship, whether it be with the investors or with customers, has to do with the people function of the relationship, and the money aspect is the score on the scoreboard, but that's not the game.
Interesting. Absolutely. That makes perfect sense. So in the book, you use some stories to talk about some of these concepts about the 7 master keys. And if we have time, we'll go into it. But why use a story to explain these concepts? And who is your Tom Crawford?
Interesting. Well, Oliver Wendell Holmes said, history tells lies about real people and fiction tells the truth about imaginary ones. And the reason I tell the story aspect of it is it's to engage the reader to put themselves in the story within the different characters. And a story will have you be more intimate with the lessons that are being learned by the characters. And and my Tom Crawford is a mentor that I've had throughout my life, starting with your parents and different people along my career who have helped me at critical times.
Interesting. Again, I'm chatting with John Feloni, certainly an impressive individual. I know that you are an author, entrepreneur, speaker, investment expert, and the founder and CEO of Stock Squirrel, which we'll talk about a little bit more after the break. But somebody may think that since this is a business story and you're such a businessman, is your book only for business people? What do you tell them?
Oh, absolutely not. And again, even everything in our lives, in the enrichment of it, the experience of it, has to do with people. So in the book, we're covering a whole host of ways to enhance a relationship, to optimize a relationship, and again, not only in business, but in every aspect of our lives, because every aspect of our lives regards people.
Indeed. Again, the book is called The Covenant Secret, an inspirational tale about uncovering the 7 master keys of wisdom and wealth. And just before we go to break, I know you have also written, you were the co-author of the bestseller, The Fall of the House of Hutton, the story of the fall of the Wall Street powerhouse, E.F. Hutton. Are you working on a third book already?
Oh yeah, and the third, I have a couple of books complete that will be released over the next several months, but they all happen to be parables similar to the Covenant Secret kind of story, where I'm delivering lessons in the parable form so that people can put themselves in the story and learn more from it, and hopefully people will find it useful.
Fantastic. Again, we're going to be rejoined in just a moment by John Feloni as we continue talking about relationships in business and why it's so important. Don't touch that dial. We've got a lot more in store for you. You're listening to Get Down to Business. You can get on my website, shalomklein.com. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the big show, all about small business jobs and entrepreneurship. Again, we've been continuing our conversation with John Feloni. We've been chatting about the 7 covenant principles, your key to great relationships. And it's interesting because, again, reading your background, John, I know you are the founder and CEO of Stock Squirrel, a new fintech that democratizes stock ownership. But interestingly, your tips, the 7 essential strategies for success, has nothing to do with money and all about people. So I don't want to share all the secrets of the book, but can you cover some of the key takeaways that you want our listeners to put into practice in the week ahead, coming from your 7 covenant principles?
Well, you know, the first covenant is the golden rule, and everything foundationally with a covenant relationship is in the golden rule, and treating people the way we would like to be treated. And then in the other principles, it extrapolates that into the different things about gratitude, compassion, passion, trustworthiness, honesty. So we go through all universal principles, universal laws that work in our relationships with people.
Interesting. Fantastic. So again, for the small business owner that's tuning in, I know you have had your own business successes, probably some challenges too, frankly. And as you know, people get started in business, what advice would you have for them, perhaps in line with these 7 covenants, principles, or just from your own experience?
Just to be intimate with people beyond the business aspect of having a relationship where you're actually asking them about the passions in their lives, and truly, sincerely caring about them, and pay attention to, because every human being is different, every constituency is different, a team member, an employee, a partner, a vendor, everyone has different values on different things, and it behooves us to ask the questions, to get intimate, and find out what people value, because everyone values different things, and it behooves us to find out what those things are and then work on delivering them.
Okay, fantastic. So this book is certainly, as you said, intended. It's really all about people, and certainly that there's a message that's relevant to a little bit of honestly everybody that might be tuning in. As we think about these past few years and how in some ways it strengthened relationships, in some ways it certainly made relationships a little bit more strained, how do you see the future unfolding?
Yeah, I think social media is good and it's bad because you can have many relationships but not deep ones. So I think you got to be careful with that, and for the relationships that you're really trying to establish, to get that one-on-one relationship and communication and conversation, so that we can get beyond the just that social networking shallowness. And I think that's what is really, really important to do going forward.
Well, John Feloni, I've certainly learned a lot in our conversation together, but we are running out of time, and the most important takeaway that we can leave people with is to get in touch with you. How can our listeners get in contact with you, as well as pick up a copy of this book? JohnFeloni.com,
which gives you my contact information beyond that, whether it be via texting, email. So JohnFeloni.com, and the book is available on Amazon.
Absolutely. That's where we're definitely going to send our listeners to. We'll link through our website. Again, the book is called The Covenant Secret, an inspirational tale about uncovering the 7 master keys of wisdom and wealth. And you can learn more at johnfeloni.com. John, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. I encourage all of our listeners to get on my website, shalomklein.com. We're going to link to all of our amazing guests from this week's show. Again, that website is shalomklein.com. It also gives you a sneak peek of who's going to be on next week on the show, all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. But be sure also to get on your favorite podcast app and subscribe, rate, review, and share. It makes it easier for others to find this program. That's a wrap for us this week. Certainly wishing you a great week ahead. To success. Let's get down to business. We'll be back next Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on AM 560, The Answer.